After a very long wait, suspense and series of speculations, Israel has finally retaliated Iran's attack on the soil of Israel. For many of you who do not know, exactly on the 1st of October, Iran launched a series of ballistic missiles and drones attack on the soil of Israel, claiming that it was a consequential response to the singular fact that Israeli Defense Force had earlier eliminated Hezbollah leader Nasrallah, who was the longest serving leader of Hezbollah, and other leaders of Hezbollah, other leaders of Hamas, as well as their commanders. After this very attack, there were tensions locally and internationally on whether Israel was going to retaliate this attack, and in what fashion would Israel retaliate this very attack. Well, there were different forms of appeal to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to respond or retaliate the attack, that in which case they want to retaliate, that it should not be a full-blown attack. If my memory serves me right, the American government through Joe Biden had equally appealed and urged Israeli Prime Minister as well as the IDF not to respond in such a fashion that will lead to a brutal escalation. Similarly, some experts were equally appealing to the members of the world to pray to God to reign peace between Israel and Iran, such that there won't be any form of escalation that could trigger Third World War. Good people, eventually, Israel has retaliated that very attack. But this time, Israel was more focused not to rain missiles in densely populated areas in Iran. And according to the Israeli Prime Minister, who described the attack as precise and powerful and achieved all objectives, Israel through Israeli Defense Force has focused on 20 targets in Iran. And their targets were mainly military base, Iran defense system, their missile and drone production facility, as well as their launch facilities. And within a period of 3 hours, Israel launched the attack on the soil of Iran, targeting different military bases, their military defense system, missile and drone manufacturing centers, as well as their launch stations. And many mainstream media have equally confirmed the attack as well as the damage that was done on these military facilities. And it was also confirmed that 4 Iranian soldiers lost their life within this period that Israel fired their missiles into Iran. However, some reports are supposing that Iran is practically very keen on hiding or concealing the extent of the damage that was done by Israeli missile attack on their military facilities. Sequel to this, the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps have equally warned the citizens of Iran not to upload any picture or video associated with this Israeli attack on the soil of Iran to the internet, that whoever that is found guilty of violating that very decree or that very instruction would definitely be dealt with. In addition to this, some Iranian senior officers have maintained that Iran is entitled and obligated to defend themselves, even though there are also reports from some senior Iranian officials that Iran is not ready for any form of escalation at this material time. Well, this very last report is making sense because in Iran of today, they have a bigger problem, a bigger issue to be worried about, probably much more than the Israelis' attack. Report available on the internet space at this material time supposes that Iranian, supreme leader Khamenei is critically and terminally ill. Yes, the 85-year-old long-serving supreme leader of Iran is being reported to be critically ill. New York Times has reported this. So many Islamic media platforms have equally, reported this very incident. And there are speculations that his oldest son, Mujtaba, is likely to succeed him. Well, many are equally speculating that there is definitely going to be some battle and some war, some internal wranglings over who is going to be the successor. But because of his medical condition, that very battle is kept at a very low pace. Do not equally forget that the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, died a few months ago in a helicopter crash. So the tension was high when the president died, and now the supreme leader is critically ill, because the politics would have been, if the president is still alive, the president will easily succeed the supreme leader. But now that the president is not alive and the supreme leader is critically ill, probably there's going to be a lot of wranglings, which may be a very big distraction for Iran over what is going on with Israel. However, Israel has maintained that they are more focused in what is going on with the terrorist group in Gaza Strip as well as in Lebanon. And they went further to maintain that that is the reason why there was no form of escalation or mistarget in their coordinated, target and powerful retaliation on the soil of Iran, focusing only on military facilities. And for this reason, some international communities have commended Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for not, letting things to be out of hands. The American government has equally expressed satisfaction that Israel did not retaliate out of proportion, that Joe Biden had earlier urged the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to retaliate in such a fashion that could possibly lead to a bigger escalation. Even though countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt are currently condemning the Israeli retaliation on the soil of Iran. Well, the current situations at the moment, bring showers of hope and showers of good feelings, because the fashion in which Israel retaliated this attack on the soil of Iran, simply says that Israel is equally ready for peace. They are ready not to allow the issues to be escalated out of proportion. But the bigger question here would be, which I know it will be in the heart of many people all over the world, is Iran also ready for peace or to maintain peace? I sincerely hope and wish that the diplomatic, discussion on how to cease fire and bring peace between these, countries will bear a good fruit at the end of the day. Meanwhile, there has been some, video clips as well flying around of some terrorist, groups and some terrorist members who have surrendered to Israeli Defense Force. And many have cheered them up, saying it is better to surrender and remain alive than die carelessly while trying to fight back at the battlefield. And finally, like I've always postulated, actions and reaction are equal but opposite. Do you think that Iran will retaliate again? Well, we sincerely pray and hope for the best, and the best that we hope for is that peace shall reign among these two member nations. And don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. My another person, Siam. God bless you.